Hey my loves, welcome back to my channel and welcome if you're new. So in today's video I'm going to be showing you guys this amazing DIY hair growth oil. It is packed with nutrients and it is herb infused. So if you're interested to know what this oil contains or what this oil is all about, then stick around for the rest of the video. Now with that being said, let us head right into today's video. Now a little backstory before we get into the actual meat of the matter for today's video. So I've always been natural, but I've been intentional with my hair for 4+ years now, and I've been able to move my hair from this point to this point. Most of my results I would attribute to doing DIYs and experimenting. I love to experiment, and I feel as a natural trying to grow your hair, it is great when you can experiment and try things, because that is when you're going to know what actually works for your hair and what doesn't. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with buying store-bought products or just simply going by store-bought products. There's nothing wrong with that. But the journey is a lot more rewarding and exciting when you actually make things for yourself and you realize that I made this and it's working for my hair and it is doing wonders. So I love doing DIYs, I love experimenting. So for today's hair growth oil, you're going to need some rosemary, and you want to ensure that your rosemary is dried and it's washed. And you're going to need some dried hibiscus leaves as well. You can actually use the fresh one. I don't really think there's a difference between using fresh leaves or dried leaves, but I alternate between. Sometimes I might use the dry one, sometimes I might use the fresh one. I don't really think there's much of a difference when it comes on to nutrients wise, but you're free to use dried hibiscus if you want, and fresh hibiscus if you want. And I forgot to mention that while experimenting and doing DIYs are great for your hair, I would recommend doing patch test before actually trying anything on your hair. So for example, I have hibiscus tree at home, so I just go and pick it, and for me it does nothing negative to my hair or my skin. But you might be someone who is new and you've never used hibiscus or rosemary or even merengue, and you want to give this oil a try. I would recommend doing a patch test before actually using any natural herbs on your skin. And that leads me to the third herb that you'll be needing for today, which is merengue. And you guys have heard me talk about merengue a lot on this channel. It is packed with so many nutrients for your hair, your skin, and your overall health. You're going to also need a carrier oil and a container. For today it is jojoba oil, and this is my container. So let's just get right into this tutorial and end the talking right here. The first step of this process is to combine all the herbs with your carrier oil, and for this video, as I mentioned earlier, I will be using jojoba oil. Now you want to allow this to sit for anywhere between 6 to 24 hours for the first stage of infusion to be completed. And once this phase of infusion is completed, we're going to move on to the second phase, which is basically creating a hot water bath for this combination. So the second stage of infusion can be completed, and the nutrients, which is in the rosemary, the hibiscus, and the merengue, can be infused into the oil, and you can get all the benefits in your hair growth oil. Now for the hot water bath, you don't want your water to be at a boiling point. You just want to see some small bubbles starting to form, and at that point you would turn off the fire from the stove, and you will allow the combination of herbs and oils to sit in the hot water bath for about 10 to 15 minutes. You could even do 20 minutes depending on how long it takes for the water to cool down. And once the water is no longer hot, that is the point when you're going to take out this oil combination and you're going to move on to the next stage. The third and the final stage of this process is to actually separate the oil from the herbs. And this is going to be done by straining the oil so the oil can be separated from the herbs. And you're free to use whatever you want to use to strain the oil. For this video, I just use a piece of cloth that I have. It does not really matter as long as you get the oil to be separated from the herbs. That is the only step that is required at this point. And after that, you're simply going to pour your oil into your container that you wish to store it in, and that's pretty much how you'd go about creating your own hair growth oil. I also want to add that you are free to use whatever herbs that you want for this process. I used herbs that are great for my hair and herbs that I've been using. These herbs are pretty much what I use for my hair tea. And I decided to create an oil instead of using the hair tea right now. So I plan on giving hair teas a little break because sometimes it is good to give some things a break and then we resume them. So I decided to give hair teas a break for a little while and I decided to create this hair growth oil instead. So as I said earlier, you're free to use whatever herbs you want. These are just the ones that works best for me, and that goes for the oil as well. You're free to use whatever carrier oil that you choose, and you can go ahead and add some essential oils to this like peppermint or tea tree, and you can also mix it with other oils as well. I am currently out of Jamaican black castor oil because I really wanted to add some, but I unfortunately do not have any right now, so I just use the jojoba oil for this process. But that's pretty much the video for today. So if you guys found this video useful, or if you enjoyed this video, or you plan on giving this recipe a try, let me know in the comments. If you're new, please subscribe to the family. And until next time, bye my loves.